Okay, here we go. Welcome. And I appreciate all of your interest and just participation, being here, being in my circle, and the support to impact others is huge. And I want you to know how much gratitude I have for you, just even raising your hand to say, listen, I just want some more information. So I remember January 25th, 2008, like it was yesterday. I was 5 months pregnant with my eldest daughter, and that is the day that I received a text message from my only sister, and that text message read, "I will always love you, just know that." And I knew something was wrong. Right away, I knew something was wrong. I couldn't get a hold of her. That night wasn't a good night for me personally. At the time, I was married to a very abusive narcissist. We got into a big, stupid fight over, we were shopping at Babies R Us that night. So we were doing all of our shopping. I was only 5 months pregnant, but I was very eager. And he started his typical shenanigans. And so we got into a big fight. And instead of going through a texting war, I decided to shut my cell phone off that night so I didn't have to deal with the drama. When I woke up the next morning, I had endless voice messages from my family telling me that my only sister decided to kill herself. Now, imagine my mother and her hysteria, losing your child, right? Well, I can't imagine. So my mother had a multiple suicidal attempts, two to be exact, of her own. At the time I was working a very corporate executive job. I was a clinical lab manager, and we got 1 week off for bereavement. I had to kind of get over it and get back to work by Monday. So when I got home, I received a call from an intensive care unit back down in Florida. I was in Boston, Mass at the time. And it was a nurse from the ICU. And she said, "Hi, is this Kim?" And I said, "Yes." "What's going on? What's happening?" She said to me, "We have your mother. She's attempted suicide. We don't think she's going to make it. But if she does, she's going to be a vegetable because she has too much kidney and liver damage from the way that she attempted." Imagine all that I had just gone through with my sister, being 5 months pregnant, running a lab. At the time, I had about 64 employees that reported directly to me. I could not take more time off to go down there and be with my mother. I had no idea what I was going to do. So I had to stay put. Mom pulled through and she survived. The night they let her out of the hospital, she went home and she attempted suicide for the second time. The same exact way. The next day at work, I received another phone call at work from the same ICU nurse from several weeks prior. And the nurse said to me, "We have your mom. We don't think she's going to make it. If she does, she's going to be a vegetable. You see, she didn't recover fully from her liver and kidney damage that she'd already done to herself." At that time, I threw my hands up and said, "F it. What can I do?" Well, I'm helpless at this point. I gave birth to my daughter, Emma, and I knew how my sister took her own life. So giving birth to this baby, being as hormonal and fragile I would have nightmares and daymares. I would literally envision and let my imagination run away with me over and over and over, pretending that I was physically there when she took her life. Well, imagine all that trauma. Now I'm dealing with mom. Mom pulls through. She survived the second attempt. This time they kind of smartened up and they sent her to a long-term care facility where she got the treatment, the therapy, and the prescription medication that she needed during that time to get her through it. Life went on. Life got better. And then life kind of got amazing. And we eventually all ended up living around the same area together. And we had a beautiful, beautiful Christmas day, 2014. It was exactly 7 years after my sister took her life. Mom was doing great. This Christmas was different. We had the biggest and brightest gathering. It was one of the only Christmases I ever remember in my entire life that my mom was sober, sadly enough. And the gifts that were exchanged were extremely valuable and sentimental this year. I never quite understood why. This time, I was 8 months pregnant with my second daughter, Adriana. And Christmas went on. The next day came and went. The next day came and went. And the third day, 12/28/2014, I received yet another phone call. This time was a little different because mom decided to take her life the same way that my sister did. And there's no accidents with that one. Mom was gone. I was 8 months pregnant, 3 days after Christmas. We rushed to her house, had to sit there and wait for the county to get there and take her away. And at 8 months pregnant, I was the one that dropped to my knees and I cleaned my own mother's blood off of the walls, off of the reclining chair, and off of the floor. I'm not making any bit of this up. You have a story inside of you. That's why you're here. I could have crumbled and I could have turned to drugs. I could have turned to alcohol. I could have changed my life in the negative direction. But you know what I did? I hired a life coach who worked with me to help me understand that I'm more than the challenges that I face, that the stories that are going on up here are nothing more than just stories. And I turned around and I founded a nonprofit organization. I became a life and business coach. Eventually, I became a global coach. I retired my husband. I make 6 figures from home, and I myself am a best-selling author. I told you that story so that you understood the impact of, number one, the story that lies within us. And number two, when you are willing to be transparent and vulnerable, you make that connection with your reader or with the people who might be attending your webinar to learn more about it. You get the point. So I'm going to give you some details about how this book looks, what the focus is. I launched my business and it is called Life by Design Solutions. Thank you, Whitefire. I appreciate that you're here and that, my story touched you, because I know if you're here, that you're here, you have an impactful story, you have an impactful vision and desire. And that's one of the basic human needs, is impact. So this book is called Life by Design. The subtitle is How to Create the Life and Business That You've Always Wanted. And so what I'm looking for is your story doesn't have to be quite as traumatic as mine, but we are overcomers. We've been through stuff. And there are people out there who are looking for hope, guidance, and inspiration. Our focus of this book is going to rattle cages in the best way possible, because the people who are looking for help and transformation and someone to say, hey, you're more than the challenges that you face. You are also an overcomer. And because I've done it and I've been there, and I'm willing to reach down and help you. So come with me. That's what your chapter is going to be about. A little bit of your story to give people hope, to edify you, to give you credibility of what you've been through, right? And then you're going to offer your product or your service, whether you have a coaching service. We've had people from all walks of life and business kind of show interest for this particular project. So I wouldn't say there's an actual niche that I'm looking for, but it's impactful storytellers like yourself. So I have worked with this publisher in the past, GWN Publishing. Lil Barkowski is a phenomenal hybrid publisher. She's also got ghostwriting services. So I'm going to give you the details now. Feel free to take some notes, and I'm going to be watching the chat. So when the questions come up, I can answer those. And this is available for replay as well. So this will be shot out to anybody who needs it. If you have people that want to participate in the book and the project, I'm going to share with you how you can earn chapter 1. Okay, so the last book that I worked on was also a compilation book. Once that book was published, we went to that best-selling status in 4 different countries in less than 8 hours. So we do have a campaign in place to help this book earn that best-selling badge as well. So your chapter, if you're like, I know I have a story inside of me, I'm not sure what the title is, I'm not quite sure what to write about, we're going to have group coaching with the publisher. And she's going to be able to pull that chapter title out of you and help you with the direction of your particular chapter. If you're like, look, I want to be a part of this project, but I don't have time to write, there is that ghostwriting service available. So I'm going to give you all of the prices, all of the details. Your chapter is going to be up to 1,200 words that either you write or your ghostwriter will write for you. You'll hop on a Zoom. You'll share your story with the ghostwriter, and then they will create that story and submit it to you for your approval. The cost for this book, for this chapter, the lowest I could get the publisher to go is $497. $497. That's the lowest price I've seen. We do need 30 authors in the book to be able to fulfill that price because of the cost of publishing. So this hybrid publisher is going to create the cover of the book. They're going to do all of the editing, the typesetting, the ISBN. They're going to set it up in a Kindle version as well as a paperback. So for $497, you're getting your chapter out to the world. At the end of your chapter, you will have an opportunity to share your website, your email, your phone number, anything that you want to share so that your readers, our readers, can find you, because you're that resource. You're the conduit to help them get from that story to that life that they want to create. That contact information does not count against your 1,200 word count. Okay. Next is collaboratively, we are going to have a virtual book launch where you, as the author, are going to be able to offer a freebie, a giveaway to our party, so that you're generating leads, you're growing your email list, you're growing your Facebook groups, etc. And everyone who downloads that Kindle, that free Kindle version, and leaves us, a positive review within a shortened window of time, you're going to be able to reach out to those individuals, give them your freebie, and that little small project is what is going to get us to that best-selling status in 24 hours. More details on that to come. Later on in the spring, we're going to have a Life by Design virtual summit where you're going to have 15 to 20 minutes of stage time to edify yourself, to educate and add value to our audience, and again, to make another offer. There's going to be a lot of strategy behind this book to get you exposure and to make sure that this book is a tangible piece, a resource for people who want to create that better life. And of course, there will be coaching in our Authors Only Facebook group to help you get booked on podcasts, to help you speak, and to go as big as you want to go. All right. Any questions so far? The deadline for enrollment is February 4th, 2/4. That's to be paid and your contract to be done. You're signed, it's fully executed. Your $497 is a one-time payment. The publisher is not offering payment plans. I guess they've done that before and it was a little too messy, a little too much. How long from beginning to end? Do you mean your chapter? Hey, Kathy. So Lisa, your chapter is 1,200 words. So if there's 30 of us, they said that a compilation book, a good, healthy compilation book is about 30,000 words. So we'll be just about there. We can have as many as 40 authors in the book, but that will put us at about 48,000 words. And that might be a little bit too big for this kind of book. So, okay, perfect. How long from writing till it's done? So our publication date at this time is currently scheduled for March 25th. March 25th of this year. If you're in, all you're going to do is either reach out to me on social or email me. And my email address is Kim, K-I-M, at lifebydesignsolutions.com. Then you will receive a contract and an invoice. As soon as you've made that decision to participate, start working on your chapter, unless you're going to go for the ghostwriter. The fee for the ghostwriter is $325, and we'll work that out so that they contact you, you hop on a Zoom, they write your chapter. If you're writing your own chapter, our deadline to have our chapter in is February 15th, 2/15. From that point, the publisher and the editors are going to be editing everybody's chapter. They're going to submit it back to us for final review. And from when you get that chapter from the publisher, you have 5 days to go through your chapter and make sure that their edits are correct. And you submit that final approval. That's the chapter that's getting printed. All right, I wanted to make sure I had this all in my head. Now that I've been talking, I'm like, I don't want to miss any details. So yes, so my name as the author who collects everything will be on the cover. It is impossible to print everybody's names on the cover. So you will each have the table of contents. You're going to be that published author in your chapter, in your table of contents, and then recognized on Amazon as well. I just had a thought, Teresa. Hold on. You own your own chapter. So once this is published, Kim and Life by Design Solutions do not own your chapter, and GWN Publishing does not own your chapter. And as a matter of fact, once you come into the authors group, you're going to hear from the publisher directly, where they incentivize you and really encourage you to go create like an ebook or a giveaway or something with your story to get people pointed to your book. How can you get more people on your email list and grow your network? And that's the whole point. Gives you that credibility. Our campaign will definitely be driven to get you notification and credibility as a best-selling author. So great questions so far. Any more? Vicki, it's okay. The replay will be sent out as well. So we went over the cost, the deadline. You own your chapter. It will be Kindle as well as paperback. Yes. So Lisa, your story, we're going to help you pick that in a coaching setting. So once your contract is completed and your payment is in, you will be added to our authors only Facebook lounge, where you're going to meet the publisher and we're going to hop on Zoom coaching sessions together where we're going to pull that story out of you. They're great at that. That's actually how this compilation book came to be. She's been nagging me for about a year, and I was like, I'm not ready to spearhead that project. That's a project for sure. Lil is here. There she is. There's Lil. That is the queen who is going to pull that story out of you. Lil, I almost reached out to see if you wanted to be on this side with me. Do you want to come over? Did she say sorry? No. What a shit. It's okay. It's okay. So how many sessions? That is dependent on Lil, but we're going to be in the Facebook group together. We might meet once a week. It's going to be a definite fast moving project, but you have all the support in the world. Lil has worked on a trillion projects. I'm actually an executive contributor for Brains magazine. So I write monthly articles in the magazine that get published globally. And like I said, I've worked with Lil in the past, and we have written and published best-selling books together. And some of you here are actually authors in that best-selling book as well. 5 or 6 in each session, no more than 8. Okay. Yes. So Paul, the focus and the premise of the book is not only, it's to focus on the person who understands, like, damn, I want a life that is fulfilled and purpose-driven. And I know there's more out there, but I don't know how to get it. So you sharing a glimpse of your story, kind of like what I did with you to get your attention, is holy shit, this chick has been through some stuff. And instead of washing away with the tide, she rose to the occasion and became a fierce, impactful person who's kind of, rising the tide together. So your chapter is going to be that inspirational piece of like, wow, maybe you've been through a lot, but what can you do to educate or add value or give some tips to your readers to help them start to implement that process? But we all know, right? We're smart, we're coaches. We all know that the general person and the general population can't or won't do it on their own. That's the way it is. That's why there's coaches in the world, because those people are looking for accountability. They're looking for people to point out their blind spots. They're looking for people to help condense their learning curve and collapse their time frame. That's where you come in. That's where your product or your service come in. All right. So there's many ways to craft that message and craft that title. That's where the coaching sessions with myself and Lil are going to come into play. Great questions. Yep. And like Lil just said, we are writing for the greater good this year. 2020 was a hard damn year. 2021 was a little better, but gotten a little effing out of control. And now 2022, in my opinion, is the year of transformation. All of you here are impactors. You have transformed your story, your life, your future. And think about the things that you've done to make those positive changes. What kind of ripple effects have you received? Your family, better communication, better sleep, better weight, better health. I'm living a prescription-free life. I don't have anxiety or depression, right? That's going to debilitate me and cause me to become suicidal, right? So no problem. The replay will be sent out. Fabulous questions. So I do have a few authors already paid and enrolled. Like I said, we can fit probably 30. We can go up to 40, but we don't want to go that big. So at this point, we have room for 30. Who wants a bonus? Yes, Lisa, if you're ready to get started, you can reach out to me on social. All I need is your email address. I will send you the contract and the invoice. And yes, you guys like bonuses. I'm going to give you a bonus. Okay. Okay. All right. You guys want the bonus. In our last book, Lil is here as my witness. I earned the spot of chapter 1. We had 48 authors in that book, right, Lil? 48 authors. I was chapter 1. So when people opened up that book, the first name they saw is Kim Ward, Life by Design. Yes, Sierra. So you want to inspire people. You want to provide hope. You want to give them tangible steps and tangible resources that they can do or take or do, whatever. And we're going to point people back to you, right? I know what Sierra does. You help people get healthy holistically. That right there is important. You need people who teach that, who guide, who lock arms with you. And so we're going to point people back to you when they're ready to get that kind of chapter of their life under control. So it doesn't matter how I earned that spot, but what I'm going to share with you is, would you like to have our book global? We are best-selling authors, and you know the world opens up our paperback book, and chapter 1 is your name. I'm not taking it this time. I haven't even talked to Lil about this. I'm going to challenge and encourage you to go find some more impactors like us. I will give you the link to this replay, to this webinar. Share this with your impactors. We need to help people. This world effing sucks. We know how to fix it. I can't change the world alone. I can change a world. You can change a world. And together, we change the world. So Teresa, there's no number that you have to hit. We're going to do this together. And whoever brings in the most amount of authors on this project, it won't be me. I'm not counting me. Anybody here can earn that spot. So if you bring in the most amount of authors to this project, you will be guaranteed chapter 1. Fair? I'm paying it forward. Okay, very cool. Have I covered everything? Kathy, this is not a book about network marketers. They do not have to be network marketers. I want coaches, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, holistic nutritionists. They can be network marketers, but this is not the Eric Worre, Ray Higdon type of mentality. This is, if I have a product, if I have a service, this is how I'm going to help you transform your life. These are the steps I took. These are the steps you're going to take. And hey, if you need that extra accountability and support, here's my contact information. And like I said, together, we're going to have a collaborative virtual book launch with a campaign to get that best-selling status. And later on in the spring, we are going to have a virtual summit where every single author is going to have a 15 to 20 minute stage presence where you have the spotlight, you share your story, you share your expertise, you educate, you entertain, you add value, and you drop a call to action like you mean it. The title is simple: Life by Design. Life by Design. The subtitle is How to Create the Life and Business that You've Always Wanted. Okay, that's right. We got to get these ideas out into the world in Q1. So enroll now, don't wait. I already have people enrolled. They're already in the authors group. The sooner you're in, the sooner you're going to meet with Lil and start our coaching program, our coaching sessions. Start working on your chapter. You've got 1,200 words. we're going to go big. We're going to go very big this year. And I'm ready to lock arms with you. If you're ready to lock arms with me and Lil, and I can promise you that most of my tribe is here. I just don't steer you wrong. That's against my core values. So, last opportunity for just any last minute questions. I think, Paul, I answered your question, so we're good. Good. Kim is the bomb diggity. You guys are too. Honestly, I appreciate you so very much. I truly do. Very excited about this project. I love impacting others. I know you do. That's why you're here. That's why, you're here. Mona, you're going to type up your own chapter in Microsoft Word, and you're going to use the word count document. There's a place to the word count. I use Keynote. I'm sorry, Pages. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Pages for Mac. And there's just a setting where you can turn on your word count, and we're ready to rock and roll. Like I said, Lil is so kind that all of your contact information that's going to be published at the end of your chapter does not count against your word count. So whatever you want to include, if you have a link tree, if you have a website, if you have an email, if you want to put your phone number, all of that, can be there. So yes, we want it in Word document, but all of those details are going to be discussed in the Facebook group once you've made that decision to come on in. And I'm begging you, come in now. First come, first serve. I want you here. It's why I invited you, but I can't force you, but I also can't wait for you. Okay. So I love you guys to pieces. Please know that so much. I will make sure that you get this replay. I will make sure that you get your contract, that you get your invoice, that you get your butt in the group, and that we lock arms and we change the friggin' world together. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And I look forward to working on this project with you. Bye, guys.